So we're now going to begin. We were just waiting for you to join. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining the Nest.io Startup Pulse today. My name is Jahara. I'm the founder of the Nest and the president of the Pakistan Software Houses Association. We were going to have Tanya Idrus with us today, but unfortunately, as happens in government, she got called into an emergency meeting and has sent her regrets. I'm so grateful to Mr. Abdul Qadir Orakzai. We called him. He's the Director of Services at TDAP, and he immediately said yes. So I'm really grateful that he's been able to join us. And he's quite relevant to the discussion since the discussion is about trade. Let me do a brief introduction of both the gentlemen who will be joining us in the discussion today. So Dr. Abdul Qadir Orakzai is the Director of Services TDAP. He's a law graduate with a specialization in intellectual property law. He has headed trademarks at Pakistan level. He has also been the Registrar for Copyright Pakistan and Controller for Patents Pakistan, and has been instrumental in making the IP laws for this country. Dr. Mohammad Ehsan Khan is an entrepreneur and an internationally acknowledged professional on the subject of governance of strategic initiatives. He is the CEO and co-founder of a Pakistan/UAE, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia-based firm called INSEAB Consulting and Information Systems, which is the owner of Trade Foresight, the trade intelligence platform that we will be talking about today. This is just one of the products that have revolutionized how data is utilized for decision making. So welcome, gentlemen. And Mr. Abdul Qadir, so since you are my co-host, if you have any questions while we are having the discussions, please do go ahead and ask Ehsan, because I think this platform that he has created, which is to enable data-driven decisions in trade, should be very interesting for all our industries, not just the tech sector, but all industries as well as government. So I think we should just go ahead right to Ehsan to ask him a few basic questions. So Ehsan, what is the vision of Trade Foresight, which is the platform that we are going to be talking about?
Thank you, John, for having me on the session. I think one of the key things that we're trying to achieve out of this platform is to consolidate trade data available from multiple data sources internationally. So that's the technology perspective of things. But the vision is to make sure that this data is available, understandable, and
Your voice has disappeared, or is it just me?
Oh, it is.
Ehsan, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Okay. So the main objective of the platform is to make sure that we make the trade-related data available, accessible, and understandable to every trader, trade entity, and government in the world.
Generally, so let me just ask you. So, what are the current barriers, and what problems are you trying to solve? Are there barriers that this will address? Because there must be. Yes. Otherwise, what would be the point of the platform?
Of course. I think every trader in the world wants to make sure that he can find out the right kind of potential markets. The way it happens right now is, if you look at in Pakistan, a trader who has already been doing certain work, he knows that which markets are available to him or her for trading.
Okay.
And generally, people don't go above and beyond their horizon. That's one. There are traders in Pakistan who want to trade, but they don't know their markets. So they are just trading locally. So the trade barriers in terms of understanding of data, understanding of laws, understanding of regulations are so many that a person, if he's doing work locally, he focuses on his local perspective only. He does not go beyond that. And if somebody is already working a certain market, he or she focuses only on that market. So these barriers make sure, it somehow stops people from going ahead from what they're doing right now. And that's the kind of barrier which was there for a very long time. With the advent of technology, technological challenges reducing now, data consolidation become easier right now. I think it's time for these traders and the small SMEs and MSMEs to have access to this information, which was only available to large entities and large organizations in the world.
So what segment or what category of trader are we talking about? Which industries particularly?
So any industry, that's the second part of the question. But for the first part of the question, we generally within Trade Foresight, we divide traders into three categories. Number one are those, the large traders who have access to this data. They have access to the trade consultants, either in-house or externally, who provide them with this information. For them, the tool enables them. So these trade consultants, for them, data consolidation is a challenge. So creating a report would take them 2 weeks. With Trade Foresight, they can create this report in 5 minutes time. So because the data is there, it's consolidated, the KPIs are there, this can be done in 5 minutes time. So it saves a lot of time for them. The second category of traders are, so the second category of traders are those traders who have already been trading, but they don't have access to markets which they're not working right now. So if somebody's working with Thailand and Vietnam and 2 more countries, that's their horizon. Our tool ensures that they can look above and beyond that horizon. They can actually find out more markets where they can do business in a much more lucrative way. Given the current COVID context, there are a lot of markets which has closed down. So finding alternate markets is something that our tool does for them. That's so second. The third category of traders are those who have not been trading at all. So for them, we enable them with data, very easy to use tool where they can say, okay, I'm from Pakistan, I want to export rice, show me my most potential markets, and our tool does this work for them. So all three categories we are catering to.
Okay, so since Mr. Abdul Qadir Orakzai is here, how does your platform help the government and the SME ecosystem?
Okay, the TDAP, one of the core responsibility, and we've spoken to TDAP as well. What TDAP its internal team does is they also do this data consolidation exercises. For them, it's defining trade policies for the country, or at least proposing trade policies with the government. Our tool helps them to identify and define those trade policies based on, number one, data. There are certain reports, and I was speaking to a lot of people who are in this field. They say a report typically takes us 2 to 3 weeks to actually analyze. By that time, the data might be obsolete. So with the tool, they can create those reports which can enable them in terms of policy decision making. I'll give you an example. There might be a country on which a trade law just came in, and it said that they are no longer importing meat from Pakistan. So it's a barrier for everybody, every exporter who's in Pakistan, and even the government. Our tool can help them in identifying the alternate markets and say, okay, this is something that we can do. And when it does this analysis, there are so many data sources that we take into consideration while doing the analysis. So it's not just one source or two sources, it's almost like 13 sources of data that we combine together. We have trade consultants on board. So it's not a technology work only. We have trade consultants on board who have defined these KPIs, which are being used by trade consultants internationally at ITC level, at WTO level, and WTI level.
Okay. Mr. Abdul Qadir, is there anything that you would like to ask Ehsan regarding what he said?
No, I think we are very much on the same platform. In fact, not only us, the whole world is moving around, by first taking the data and then they take the decisions. And the future definitely belongs to all the people who would be holding the greatest data. Abhi agar hum dekhte hain na, to everywhere, whether it is Google or whether it is Daraz or Alibaba, if somebody is ahead of the other person or the other entity, it is because of the data. हमारे government में तो तकरीबन 99.9% the decisions that we take are normally first we get the data. Suppose we plan to send a delegation to Malaysia. The first thing that we do is to take the data of the Malaysian market, the total exports of Pakistan, then the competitors of Pakistan, then the competitive edge that the Pakistani traders have. So I think this is very much vital and very much valid for almost every decision.
Right.
It has a very vital role. The most relevant and the most current burning issue nowadays is that data is so rapidly changing that it becomes a challenge. अभी हम यहाँ पे TDAP में these days सारी activities जो हैं they are all moving around holding of online seminars and webinars and exhibitions and all that. So मैं कल day before yesterday we were holding a meeting and I told यार let's be quick because हम जब आएंगे by then the people would have taken decision and they would have captured the market. So the winner is the one that takes the decision according to the data, and the quicker he takes a decision, the better it is for him. So मेरे ख्याल this is good. अब ये है कि challenge ये जरूर है. The data should be valid. It should be latest, and it should be very much relevant.
Okay, so Ehsan, we come to you then. Dr. Abdul Qadir is correct that the data needs to be accurate and it needs to be clean and it needs to be updated. So can you tell us how comprehensive is your tool and what are your data sources? How do you get the data and how efficiently and accurately do you project that data on your platform?
So, as I said that we are collecting data from multiple data sources. I'll give you a very quick brief background of the company itself.
Okay.
Insyad Consulting, the parent company of Trade Foresight, is a data analytics company. So we have been doing data for the last 8 years.
Okay.
And that's the real power of the tool. So it's not a typical trade directory. It's not a typical marketplace. We have made sure that when you go to a specific trader, you have actually analyzed the market. So you said, okay, I did a lot of analysis and I was eventually able to lock down Malaysia as my potential export market for rice. I'm just giving an example. So once that analysis is done, you just click on it and then you can go to those specific traders instead of just going to a market based on your initial assessment. Coming back to the original question, we're getting data from Comtrade, World Bank, WTO, DESTA, WTI, IMF, plus many other data sources, from where this data has been consolidated. And if you look at the type of data that we have data related to the tariff measures such as landed cost, import, export values, and it starts from country, it goes to industry, it goes to specific product. So the data that we have is for every country in the world, every product in the world, and every industry in the world. So that's the comprehensiveness of the trade-related data. Number two is data related. So this is not enough. This gives you a picture of, okay, how the market is operating.
Right.
The second part of data that you need are the non-tariff measures, such as trade agreements. So even if I want to export to Ghana, but I don't have a preferential trade agreement with Ghana, I would rather not go in that market. So we have data related to trade agreements available within the tool as well. The third part of information is related to trade news. So any news that is being generated at any point in time, just assume, Jana, a trader is sitting in Karachi and he gets an SMS on his mobile phone saying there is a new regulation that just came through. You cannot export rice to these 7 countries for the next 3 months, or whatever that news was. Now, this is the kind of accessibility information that we want to enable. So instead of people searching for information and knowing that information after 2 weeks, you will have that information instantly available on your mobile phone or your platform whenever you are. The third part of it is data related to traders and trade association. So if I've analyzed the data, I found out the right kind of market, I can connect with the right kind of traders. Number one, we have data for almost, and it's building, we have almost 500,000 traders data available from multiple data sources. Some of them is primary collected data, some of them are secondary collected data. So there is a lot of data that we have actually gained through primary data collection, plus trade association. So if I cannot find the right kind of trader, I can still speak to the trade association in that particular country, and then I can get connected to them. So the entire value chain of trade gets completed over here. In addition to that, we have made data available for financial institutions providing financing for trade. So a trader, when he comes to our platform, he or she can get entire set of information that enables him or her to conduct a particular trade. And the data is being updated regularly. So I had this question multiple times from people, like, what's the reliability of the data. We are getting data from the most reliable data sources in the world. So if this data is not reliable, there is no trade-related data that's reliable. So we're getting data from Comtrade, we're getting data from IMF, we're getting data from WTO, WTA. All of them are the most reliable data sources. And we are getting data from DESTA, which is a very academic data source. So data that you get from DESTA is very academic in the sense that they have changed the qualitative part of trade agreements into quant data.
Okay.
So depth of a trade agreement. So these KPIs, if I want to calculate as a trader, it's very difficult for me. But through this kind of collaboration that we have with academia, we get these KPIs done for a particular trader.
Okay, so tell me, how can Mr. Abdul Qadir or Akzai and the government help you on this mission that you're on? Is there anything that you require from TDAP or from the Ministry of Commerce or anybody related to the government at all?
I think one of the key things that we have been trying to do for some time now is trying to get the traders of Pakistan on the platform. So there are two parts of it. There are two uses of the platform. Number one is the traders who are there, which can be a current importer and exporter. So when I say trader, it's importer and exporter both, because it's like a two-side thing that's there.
Okay.
Plus, there are these MSMEs who are not trading right now. So we need to have access to this. We need to get these people on board. The more people that you get on board, the more collaboration happens. It's an environment that we try to set up. It's not just about a technology that is being done. Once people from Pakistan on board, and I'll get back to this point, but we have people coming in from right now Tanzania, Ghana, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, who are already registered on the portal. So the more people we get on board, the more Pakistani traders we get on board, the collaboration becomes much more robust. So we want to have access to those traders, number one. Number two is we want TDAP to, like Mr. Aurangzeb said just right now, that accessibility of data helps them in taking decisions. So the tool can help them. They can adopt the tool right now, and their analysts can use the tool right now to start analyzing the data. So let's say there is an exhibition that's happening in Malaysia. What does the Malaysian market look like? You can get this information in just one click. You don't need to run around and find out this data. So it's just available to you right there. Agreement perspective, data perspective, tariff perspective, news perspective. And given the current COVID context, there is a lot of trade related regulations that are changing very regularly. So there are new exemptions coming in some cases. There are some trade barriers coming in some cases. You can get this information on board. So we want the government of Pakistan, we want the traders of Pakistan to adopt to the tool. It's available to them right now. I mean, they can just log in and start using the portal and getting this information on their mobile phones or on their PCs right away.
And also,
so the help that we need from them is to make it a tool that can be used by traders and the government right now. And it's a homegrown tool. It's a Pakistani platform that we have. And we did a lot of research around it. There is no platform in the world that combines all of this information in one place right now. So Alibaba allows you to do a lot of trade. You can do a lot of B2B things over there. But then when it comes to the market analysis, it's not there. There are some tools provided by ITC that provides you market analysis, but then they don't allow you to do trade itself. He just mentioned related to exhibitions. We have features available on the portal to conduct those exhibitions online. So these features are coming in as we speak right now. And the platform is evolving very quickly.
So, and you said that until December, until the end of December, you are making this registration free for everybody here in Pakistan, right? Why make it free?
So the original idea was to get a lot of money from the traders. But see, now the situation, if you look at it, COVID has made people go financially in a very bad situation. And our target was not just these large-scale traders. Our target was these MSMEs who aren't able to trade right now. I mean, there are so many cases where there are mango exporters, and I mean, when you follow these pages of Facebook where there are people who are trying to export, you see that there is frustration. There is this desperation. Okay, what should I do right now? I cannot trade. These three markets have closed down for me. So we said, okay, instead of charging them right now, we'll get our money at a certain point of time. But right now, making this tool available for them for free internationally helps them to connect, helps these markets to connect together and start doing business. Inshallah, things will improve. We are going to go beyond this COVID situation, inshallah. Things will, I'll not say normalize, there will be a new normal, but people have to do business. There are a lot of, so the doctors are trying to help from a medical perspective. Delivery companies are coming in, they're providing online services for it. So people are trying to help wherever they can. This is our way of helping people. This is our way of helping people in Pakistan, traders in Pakistan, and traders globally to connect on the platform, start doing their trade. There is, after the analysis part, there is an option within the portal to do spot trading. Either it's online, either it's within Pakistan, local trading, or export or import. So you can do both of these things using the marketplace available within the tool. And the thing is that you can do this using data. So that data helps you in finding the markets.
Okay, so I'm going to go to some of the questions that are coming in from participants, and that's good. The engagement is really great. Salman Dar wants to know, why do we need to reinvent the wheel when the full trade-related data for each and every country is available at oec.world?
OEC does not provide the entire set of information that we have. So we have done a lot of research on that. OEC is one of the data sources that we're using. So once you start consolidating these data sources together, there can be very similar question related to why are we doing it if WT is providing certain information sets, or let's say Comtrade is providing information. This data is becoming very complex when it comes to a simple SME trader. Just think about a trader sitting in Judi Bazaar right now, having a team of 3 people, and he wants to export. He will not go to OEC and start exploring the tool and the complexities of the tool, number one. Number two is, once you have this data as a data source, it helps you with the next steps. Once you have identified a potential market, connecting with traders. OEC does not provide you with that information. Who are the traders? So the trade directory is embedded within the tool itself, or connecting with trade association. This is also built within the tool itself. So we go above and beyond the data part, and OEC does not have data related to quantified data of trade agreements. So we have got the data in as well. Okay. So there are, OEC acts as one of the data sources for us.
Okay. Now, Yasir Ahmed Pirkani wants to know, from a technology background, I'm interested in knowing how can this tool help in exploring new software markets? Are you there, Ehsan, or have I disconnected? Akash?
Yeah, Jahan, I can hear you.
So that means that Ehsan has disconnected, or his connection is slow and we can't hear him. Ehsan, calling Ehsan, are you there?
I think we can wait a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll come back, probably having internet issues.
Yeah. Mr. Orakzai, what do you think so far about what you have heard? Is there any question that comes to you that perhaps we can put to Ehsan? Because there are some questions coming from the audience.
Well, data, there are 2 types of data. One is the one that is provided to you by your department, by the place where you work. And then there is sort of an informal data that you collect with your own self. So in the government service, what we have observed, the smartest among the officers are usually those ones who collect and who have their own data, which is more reliable. Like, for example, today we are holding a meeting with Secretary Commerce. And the best and the smartest among the officers shall be the one who holds the latest and the more appropriate data. And I think all the governments.
I'm sorry, Jahan, I got disconnected.
If the government wants to open and operate a school or a hospital, the first thing that they consider is the total flow of patients, or maybe the gender of the patients, the relevant group. So what I want to say is that data is perhaps in the modern day world, the primary force that drives the world economy is of course the data.
And so what I find interesting about this tool is that not only is the data being collected from so many sources, it is also being analyzed and put onto one platform so that somebody, whoever, whether it's me, you, or an exporter, if they want to look at a particular market or want to explore where their product can go, it's easy for them to do it without having to collect their own data and analyze it themselves. Am I right, Essen?
Very true, very true, very true. That's
Okay,
that's the main idea.
Just when you went off, I had asked you a question that came in from Yasser Ahmed Pirkani. He says, from a technology background, I'm interested in knowing how can this tool help in exploring new software markets?
Yes. So Comtrade and WTO has recently launched a platform from a data perspective, in the sense that they are now giving out data for products which are soft products, such as the services part. So now you will have data available related to these soft products as well on the platform. And we hopefully by the mid of August, you'll have the soft products related data available as well, the services data.
Okay. All right. So, and then there is another question. Any WTO policies that are relevant here?
So WTO policies, when it comes to data collection, the WTO policies, so WTO acts as a consolidation agent from a certain perspective. And we are trying to adopt regulations coming, especially, let's say, from the COVID measures part. So these policies, we use those policies, the new regulations coming in within the portal for finding out, okay, this data is now recently available from WTO. How can I use this information to drive my new markets, for example? So we use the WTO data as well on the platform.
Okay. There is a person by the name of Jamalullah Sakharvi who says, how to access this tool and what do you offer for new traders?
So you just have to go to www.tradewebsite.com. There is a link given, login or sign up. Once you sign up on the portal, you'll have access to all of this information on the click of a button. So it's not, there is nothing complicated about how to use the tool. There are videos and documents available in terms of tool utilization. So you can do all of that using the platform from there.
Okay. And then Yasir Daria wants to know, is there any trade data related to the green economy in Pakistan and globally?
I mean, from the tool perspective, I mean, we are trying to make sure that the data is available. So technology, whenever you talk about technology or digital trade, you are focusing on green economy in general. And if there is something specific about green economy, I would love to answer that specific part. But generally, I mean, we are talking about every product which is there. So it's about whatever the product is there.
Faraz Khatib wants to know, how can such products help explore trade opportunities in Afghanistan or few countries facing restrictions due to sanctions?
Okay. Three things. Number one is the normal sanctions which are there in terms of trade. Like I said, you have data available for trade agreements within the portal. So if you can explore that part of it. The second part of it is and that's a very interesting question, because even if the market is there, even if you want to trade over there, and if the trade laws are not enabling you to do that, I mean, you can't. So the thing is that we are trying to make sure that we give you as much information as possible from a tariff perspective, non-tariff measures perspective, and other perspectives, and then you can decide, okay, whether I want to move ahead in this market or not, or whether the market is really accessible to me. I gave you an example in the beginning that, okay, Ghana might look like a very potential, excellent market for me in terms of trade, but if I don't have free trade agreement, for example, or a preferential trade agreement with them, I would rather not enter that market. So it gives you alternate markets and their availability.
Okay, so can you tell us how many other countries and trade bodies are already working with you? Seems like an immensely internationally relevant product. So could you tell us?
So we are speaking. So we have already signed up with some entities in Sri Lanka. We have signed up. We are close to signing up with SME Corp in Malaysia. We are speaking to TDAP even now. We are speaking to Dubai Exports in Dubai. So there are multiple entities who we are speaking to right now. And as I told you before in the beginning, that we haven't really marketed the tool right now. So it's in the very initial stages of this whole thing. We already have traders coming in from Tanzania, South Africa, Ghana, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia. So it's growing right now. And I think one of the very relevant parts of all of this is that Saudi government. So when the tool was built in its the pilot stage, when you were initially doing the whole thing, we were able to sell the platform to Saudi government. So they are already using a white label version of the platform right now for their decision making. So the tool is validated, and there are, I think, almost 5,000 SMEs of Saudi who are already using the tool. They are already on the platform. So from a technical perspective, from perspective of utility, it's validated. From perspective of utility right now, it's also validated because it's like 10 days that we have launched the portal really, and we have now almost 200 plus SMEs registered on the portal who started coming in and analyzing the data there.
Okay, so there is a question. So an exporter can explore markets and products and identify hidden gems of opportunity based on your predictive AI ML engine that shows people what is being exported from where and what is not. Does this mean exporters can blindly rely on the product, or will they still have to supplement the tool with basic knowledge of other export-related items?
I think, so we generally recommend you a certain market once the analysis is done. We tell you, okay, this looks like a good potential market for you. But I wouldn't recommend anybody to just blindly rely on data all the time. So it gives you an overall perspective of multiple things. However, within the tool, we have provided you multiple sources of information as well. So the news is there, the agreements are there. You can still look at those items and take your decision data-driven. The key idea is you will never rely on a single tool in terms of decision making. You generally say, okay, this gives me a good guidelines, it gives me a good idea of where I should be heading towards. But should I rely on it 100%? I wouldn't say I would rely on it, but at least I'll have a very good direction in terms of decision making. I was speaking to in one of the sessions, somebody asked me, okay, is this available in the tool? Is that available? I said, guys, the point right now is I don't have a Nokia initial version of a mobile phone available. You're talking to me about 5G. Let's have something. Let's give people a tool that they can start utilizing right now, and then we can go above and beyond that.
Okay. Gabish Joshi wants to know, what about users' data privacy? Where are the data? Where is the data being stored, and how is it being kept private?
So, if we talk about a personal privacy, we are storing the data on our own platform, and it's encrypted, it's verified, and we have people. As I said, we have been in data field for the last 8 years. We just do data. So for us, we do understand the privacy, and we are working with very large companies. We've worked with the UAE Armed Forces. We've worked with Saudi Telecom. We've worked with organizations like these, where data privacy is a key measure. So we have put in all of those measures within the tool to make sure that the user privacy is there. Number one. Number two, we are not really collecting a lot of data from a user perspective. It's generally user information, the typical information. The rest of the information is what we are collecting and providing to the end user. So it's more about information delivery than about information collection from the end user.
Usman Mustafa Sayyed wants to know, there has been a lot of talk about exporters. How does this tool help Pakistani importers? Or does it?
Okay. So the tool is, there are two parts of the tool really. One part of it is for the export. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So as I said, the tool is about traders. It's not about importer or exporter. So an importer can go to the tool and say, okay, I am from Pakistan. I want to export from Thailand. Show me the most top markets from Thailand, products from Thailand that I can import to Pakistan. So this whole thing is available within the platform itself. So it's about two-way thing. It's about importer, it's about exporter, and then collaborating with them. Number two is that the trader list that we have available, it has data related to traders. He can be importer, exporter, distributor, producers, all kind of data is there.
Okay. Azhar Hussain wants to know, are you planning to conduct training for traders in Pakistan to utilize tools and analytics to make their business decision based on that, as many Pakistani small businesses lack these kind of skills?
Yes, we do. And I think going back to the original question, Jara, that you asked me, how do you want help from Pakistan government? I think this is where Pakistan government can really help us, providing us the environment. We are ready to invest from that perspective in terms of training the traders, but infrastructure availability, getting them in one room, TDAP can do that for us. I mean, and training them on the portal, we would love to do that. And I think it's part of our strategy to train the traders to use the tool from a data perspective. And we have recently conducted one exercise with 20 traders as a pilot thing. And all of them are now using the tool, and we generally see what kind of progress are they making.
Okay. Ashfaq Ali Khan wants to know, does the Trade Foresight platform help us to get an idea about the demand for a particular product?
Okay. There are two parts. One of the demand is demand on the local market, the micro indicators. We don't have data related to micro indicators. We generally have data related to macro indicators. When you talk about demand, if you go to the first page of the portal and I say, okay, I'm exporting from Pakistan, exporting to UAE, it shows you data related to what kind of numbers am I making currently, and what's the potential of UAE for that particular product. And then they can find out, okay, who are the importers and exporters for that particular. Jan, can I share my screen for just 1 second? I would love to answer this question by showing them something.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I'd also like you to go through some of the top features, perhaps by showing the platform, because I think if you use visibility as well as words, it will the combination of visual and audio will help them understand it a little more. Mr. Orakzai.
I'll just do it now.
Hello. So Esan was saying that there was a question from one of the participants that can Trade Foresight hold some training on how to use the tool and how to look for data and all of that. And Esan said that if TDAP can organize such training, inviting the traders to perhaps TDAP or to some location where he is willing to undertake the training. Can you help with that?
Will it be a physical or online training?
I guess at the moment it will have to be online, but after COVID it could be physical. Right now, of course, everyone is doing everything online.
Yes.
And then I can say city, Karachi. Okay, I'm asking for $9 per kilogram. It's the CIF price. Shipping method is port. C. I will select Boston port. So we have data for all the ports and airports in the world. And my preferred country, based on my analysis, was Bahrain. Okay. So I can now attract only the Bahraini, or if I'm done multiple analysis, I can select all of them over here.
Right.
This offer is valid till this. So I submit the offer, okay, and the order gets submitted to the portal, and then there is an admin part over here where we can say, okay, we'll look at all the marketplace opportunities, and then we can say, okay, these are the approved ones, and then you can accept or reject those opportunities over here.
So Asif Gul is asking, so can we similarly identify IT exports and especially software related exports and gather potential export markets?
Yes, as I said before, the market, so the data WTO is now providing and Compton is now providing is data related to services as well. Okay. So right now the platform only has data related to products with HS codes, but the next version of it will have data related to services as well on the portal.
And when will that be?
It's 15th of August. So data is already there. Our trade consultants are currently working to come up with the KPIs, because the KPIs of products and services are a little different. They're not the same in terms of analysis. So we are trying to get that figured. And this is going to be very interesting for the government as well and for the traders, because we are consolidating data related to the trade news related to COVID. So whatever measures related to COVID have been done, so these products are no longer, you cannot no longer export them internationally. So these measures are also being consolidated, and this data is coming from WTO. So the data sources are all authentic data sources when you're getting this data in.
Okay. So one, Altaf Mohammed wants to know, do you have any online tutoring for this tool available on your site?
We have the user guides right now, but one of our trade consultants has prepared trade guides in Urdu and English for Pakistani traders. So they can actually, I can share with you guys the link. These are like small YouTube videos. People can just go on those videos, look at the videos, and start doing the analysis from there.
Okay.
And I think this might be very interesting, because the data related to trade association has not been, because we did the consolidation for that, and it was extremely difficult for us to do this consolidation. So this list contains every trade embassy, trade association in the world. So whether it's consulate, whether it's foreign missions, whether it's I'll just select, let's say, Canada. Okay. So mining association, aerospace association, almost 44 associations. So if you can't find a particular trader, you can still speak to the association and get that information from them.
Okay. So Riyad Al Hafiz wants to know, with COVID 2019, there's a big dynamic surge in PPE. Does it give details on PPE opportunity and updated at what frequency, daily, weekly, monthly?
No, no. So it does not have information related to that.
Okay, all right. Are you doing, Mohammed Atif wants to know, are you doing anything for European market, and how are you handling GDPR?
So yes, the data is available for, as I mentioned, every country that's there. So it's every product, every country, whether it's within Asia or Europe, the data is available for those countries as well. Plus information related to the products that they're working on, that's also available. I got a message yesterday from a very close friend of mine, and he asked me, okay, he was sending me a message related to Malaysia, asking me whether Malaysia, what kind of import Pakistan is doing to Malaysia, what kind of value chain is there available right now. I said, just log into the portal, you'll have all of this over there. So the information is available now. I think the video tutorials will help a lot of traders in terms of getting access to this information. And if you look at Jahara, it's especially looking at this page, it's like very simple to use. I just type in and I say, okay, where I'm from, what I want to do, and the tool drives you to the eventual decision. So instead of you finding out those things, you have this information available here. And there are so many other factors that we are adding on the tool, such as the exhibitions part, or such as the trade stores part. There are things that are going to come. Our eventual vision, the dream, is to have a super app of trade, basically. So starting from a small shop, going to the actual import and export thing, it should be there. And I think there is a lot of work that needs to be done in this space. I mean, because trade data was generally being used, and applications around this area, like the gentleman initially mentioned, the OEC thing, it was basically being used at that level only. So for traders, it was always something that they didn't have access to, or even if they had access to, they didn't know how to use the tool for their own benefit, for their own decision making. And we have enabled that. Finally, what we have done is we have created a page where if you are using the portal, you can just come in and say, okay, I have a trade inquiry, and our trade consultants will respond to you on that inquiry. So you could not understand anything. You try to do a lot of things and you say, okay, just help me over here. Our trade consultant will help you in taking those decisions.
Okay. And this is also free for the moment?
Yes, for the moment it's free. Yes. So I mean, as I said, Jahan, these few months, the next few months are more about enabling traders. It's making sure that they can do something which they aren't able to do right now.
And after this COVID period is over, is it going to be reasonably priced, or are you going to?
So there would be two versions of the portal, three versions of the portal. One of them would be FOC in any case. So we'll keep that for free for people to start doing some kind of work on the portal. The second part is the standard version, in which it's going to be priced, I mean, less than like $15 a month, or even below that. If we have a MOU signed up, for example, with TDAP, their traders will get a discounted price. So we're trying to make sure that wherever we have an MOU signed up, the traders get a discounted price for them. Then there will be a premium version. Premium version, in that we are going to get a trade consultant engaged with the trader. So it's like one call every year. And people say one call. This one call matters a lot. If you have a one good call with a particular trade consultant who has the information for you, it can be game changer for you. So it's like a typical startup looking for a VC, and he gets access to a 1 hour call with a VC. It's a life-changing situation for them. So that's the kind of availability that we're doing for them.
You have a fan here, Sarfraz Paracha, who says, I can personally vouch for this product, having seen it up close and personal, seen its implementation at my top client in KSA, who are reaping benefits. It's one of the key solutions helping KSA decrease its reliance on oil, currently 87%, which Vision 2020 wants it to be down to 50% in the next 10 years. So there you have it. Yeah. I thought, since we've given you so many tough questions to answer, we should also tell you that there is a guy who thinks you are just brilliant.
Appreciate that, Sarfraz. Thank you, Manish.
So I think we've been sort of online for an hour. Is there any final thing that you want to tell us about the features of the product? And then if Mr. Orakzai, if there's anything that he wants to ask you or you want to ask him, this is your chance.
So what I want to really do right now is, as a next step, we are trying to build an ecosystem over here. Ecosystem meaning that we want to connect traders internationally. We already have traders coming from Pakistan. So we have already had people coming internationally from other countries. We have people coming from Sri Lanka and other countries. We want to make sure that we can somehow get traders of Pakistan on the platform, and TDAP can really help us in that.
Why do you think they're not coming on the platform right now?
Right now, we have just launched it, so it's like 10 days. So,
okay. All right. Yeah.
So I think this is the time when people should really be joining in. We've already in conversation with TDAP around this specific thing, and I hope we can get that thing done. And then traders around the world.
Okay. Mr. Orakzai, is there anything that you would like to ask Dr. Ehsan regarding this platform?
As far as TDAP is concerned, I think TDAP is very much clear in supporting and extending support to the people who are serious and taking a serious entrepreneurship. We have, there is a specified policy agenda that among 100% of the people, 15% are those who are new. We extend them all support from A to Z. Then we also extend support to the female entrepreneurs. And so I think TDAP is a very good platform. There are so many good entrepreneurs who are the graduates of TDAP. हमारे जो ये गुल अहमद या जो आज हम अपने सीनियर से सुनते हैं कि आज से 30 साल 40 साल 25 साल पहले ये लोग इधर आते थे. अब अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह now they are the giants, they are the huge entrepreneurs. So whosoever is interested, TDAP is we welcome all the new entrepreneurs as well as those who need support from us. So हम बाकी कुछ कर सकते हैं ना कर सकते हैं. We will be very much generous in showing them the right path. So
All
yes, everybody is welcome at every level.
Yeah, so Ehsan, you heard that they are willing to help in any way they can. Please do connect with them again. I know you're in touch with CDAP already. Thank you very much, Mr. Orakzai, for agreeing to be here. This was relevant for your organization, and I thought that it's good if you can hear what some of the entrepreneurs are doing. Dr. Ehsan, thank you very much. It looks like an amazing platform. I wish you luck with it. And if there is anything that we can do to help, please let us know. I think he has left us. I only see a frozen picture. So, shall we wait for him to come back? Oh, he's totally gone now.
Yeah, I think I've said thank you to everyone. So I guess we can end the session now.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Orakzai. I'll come and see you after COVID.
Sure.
All right. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Jahan, the thing is,
Jahan just left. I think because your connection had dropped, Dr. Ehsan.
okay. So just to respond
Yes,
to
but
that
if you
question-
have, yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, just to
GG,
respond,
Dr. Yeah.
I think we're already speaking to TDAP on that, and I think if they can accelerate that process right now, we can get their traders on board immediately. So that's a thing that can be done right now.
Great, perfect. And if anyone wants to get in touch with you for any further questions, again, what's the best way? Should they reach out to you on your Facebook page, your LinkedIn, or something?
You can just drop me an email. What we'll do is I'm going to share my email address with you guys, and then maybe you can send it to all of them, and then they can connect with
Yeah,
us.
sure. You can drop it. You can share it with us, and then we can send it on to those people
Perfect.
who joined us today.
Perfect.
Great. Thanks so much, Dr. Ehsan. Thank you to all the
Thank you all
attendees
for joining in.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.